Hello everyone, I am Derogative and welcome to another video on this channel. Now, for today's episode of Learn with a Beginner, we will be talking about shapes because I truly believe that shapes is the foundation to all art, or at least the art that I see. Now, what you see on the screen before you in the middle here is a drawing that I did maybe an hour or two ago. As you can see, it's of a girl, and the drawing that you see here to the left is not mine. It is another drawing created by the artist Gomi Cake. I will link her Twitter in the description below. She is amazing. I love her art. So now I know what some of you may be thinking. You said you referenced this art piece, but it doesn't look anything like what you've drawn here. Now that is correct, because referencing, it's not what I initially thought it was going into art. Now, I heard a lot from different artists that, oh, you have to use references, constantly use references, but in my mind, when I first, like, even before I did art, when I first started doing art, I thought in my head, if I use a reference, wouldn't that mean that I'm copying the art? But now that I think about it more, and it's more of looking at the different aspects of the art piece that you like and seeing if there's any way you can interpret it in your own way and apply it to your own art. So for example, what I referenced from this art piece was I really liked how she draws eyes, and I really like how her skin is shaded. I like the coloring of her skin. It's kind of like a light pinkish, you look at it. So if we zoom in, mine isn't as deeply shaded as hers. My skin itself is barely shaded at all, because I actually forgot to shade some, like, a lot of the skin, but around her head is where we're going to focus. So the skin itself is kind of a light pinkish, but it looks like skin. The shading is still, it's a little bit darker, but it's pink kind of blended into it with a little bit of red. And I did the same for the cheeks. Now, I was going to add a little more with the shading, but I wanted to keep it very simple and very soft. Now, I also liked the waviness and flow of how she did her hair, so I tried to kind of replicate the waviness, not exactly, because of course I want to do it in my own way. So the hair, as you can see, the line art is very thick to emphasize the lines and the flow of the hair. It looks very soft and playful, and that's basically what I had got from her. Now if we look into the eyes here, as you can see, normally when I draw my eyes, I'll just create two lines, I'll fill it in with a blank color, and then I'll pick a lighter version of that color and make that half of the eye, and then shade the lower half of the eye with that lighter color. Now with this here, we did it a little bit more. Now if I go up to my eye shading and take all that out, we have the length. There's a little bit more here, but yeah, let me get rid of this. So you see, it's the eye, and then just the blank color here. Now if I add in the eye shade, I actually used pink instead of a darker blue. I used pink for the eye shade, and then I set the blending mode to dark and lowered the opacity to 36, and it created this type of effect. Like if I take the opacity and I raise it back up to 100, as you can see, and let me actually change the blending from darken to, you can see it's pink. It's just, it fits so well with this, I feel like. So we're going to go ahead take that back, 36%. Now let's go to the iris. I have it set to dodge. What color did I make this? Let me see. It's still pink, but it's darker than what I made the eye shade. It's like a reddish, but it's still in that pink. It's in that pinkish reddish area. It's a little bit darker than what I used. And so even if you don't quite understand what the blending modes are doing, because I 100% don't understand myself, it's like once you find out, how do I explain it? I'm sorry, it's a little, once you know, it's one of those things to where once you learn it, you know what to do and how to do it, even if it's not perfect or even if you don't quite understand it. And it could be applied to when you're playing a game or something like that too. So let me go ahead and add everything back. There's the pupil. The pupil was just black, and then I lowered the opacity of the black. Highlights just white. Now here, what we're going to do is we're going to hide all of these other layers here for the art itself, and we're going to show only the sketch, because when we're looking at the art from like normally, we only see the 2D aspect of the art. We don't see what was put into it. So I'll keep the full-on line art. I'll add the glasses too. Actually, no, it's not needed. So I'll keep the full-on line art, and then we will show the sketch. Now my sketches are very rough, but as you can see, it's a rough indicator of where everything was going to go. If you look at my sketch, you can see that I have different lines showing the curvature of the breast itself, my body. Even with like when I was drawing the Oreo, the cookie, which would be in this, which it was an Oreo, but it's just an oval, but I overlapped an oval multiple times to create the image, to create the idea of something being there when it really wasn't anything. So let me get rid of the line art here, and we'll see the pure sketch. So in the sketch, as you can see, the entirety of the sketch was built by nothing but shapes. I created a curving line because the line shows how I wanted my body to bend. The foot here, even though the back of the foot is curved like this, the fact that it's going in and then going like this, it kind of matches this line. Same with this knee right here, it's matching the flow of the line, and the line itself is the flow of the body. So let's see, I'm gonna show it darken. Now this line right here is actually, it's the building point for everything. That's the best way I can put it. So I'm sorry, so we have this line, we have a oval right here, it's a flattened oval, and the reason the flattened oval is there is to give the lower waist depth. So now it doesn't just look like it looks like a dome, kind of, if that makes sense. So it turns it into a 3D object, even though it's just 3 lines. It becomes a 3D object. It's the same with this right here, the leg, because I thought that the leg looked weird. It didn't seem like it was it didn't feel like a leg to me, right? But then I had put that little circle there, and it created like a little flat area, so it seems flat. Even right here, it looks flatter, even if that line isn't perfect, but it looks flatter because you have something to visually show you that, oh wait, that's not just a circle, that's a flat end. And instead of it connecting to the bottom part right here, it just very slightly goes around it, so the leg looks like it's about to connect, but it isn't. So you see that there's something behind the leg, and that's what helps give the body that you are drawing more depth. Now let's go to the breast here. Now with this breast right here, I'm just going to do this because it's easier and it'll take less time. So it's not quite just a pure circle, because breasts are not just circles, they're oval, more teardrop shaped. I've heard a lot, and I like the term teardrop. So breasts are more teardrop shaped. It also depends on the size and everything like that, but for the most part it's generally tear shaped. So since breasts naturally are facing away from each other, I have this breast facing this direction and this one facing this direction. Since it's coming from an angle, we're not, with this breast, we're not looking at the breast how we're looking at it from here. We're looking at it from the side, so it's more angled than this one. And when I make my bodies, I didn't used to do this before. When I first started drawing, I would go straight into making the body, thinking that like it wouldn't really matter either way, because like I said, I always heard artists saying that, oh, you need to do this, you need shapes are very important, and then I would kind of skim past it. Like, once I get the chance, I'm gonna just hop right into the drawing. Like, I don't need shapes. But honestly, my art started, I felt a lot more improvement. I saw a lot more improvement in my art when I started actually building my sketches out and fleshing them out with shapes before I did the line art. And shapes, like even with my arms, even if like this arm and this arm I planned out, this one didn't come out as planned. I wanted her to stick her hand out, and I didn't know what I was doing with this arm when I first made it. I just made it to have something there. But when I created the arms, as you can see here with the shoulder, I didn't draw a complete circle. It's kind of slumped down a little bit. And then this, what do you call it? Is that a quarter moon? But well, it goes into a cylinder shape right here. And this cylinder is the arm itself, but most of the cylinder was actually hidden. It's not actually that size, but I have a cylinder going into another cylinder here, and that is what creates the entirety of the arm, because it doesn't have to be exactly how you want it to in the sketch, but you want a general idea of the body you're going to be building when you create your sketch. It's the same thing with the head. To know where you want your head to be facing, like, oh yeah, sure, you got this right here, you got your line heading down, you got your circle here, have a curved line going into that beginning line. So now you know, oh look, my head is facing this way, so I know I want my head to be facing this way. But I already had the idea at the time that I wanted her to be looking at me, So I placed her right eye right here and her left eye right here, so she's kind of looking like this. If you look at the entire socket, it would be like she's looking like that. And I think that's about all I'd have to say for this video. Like I said before, the art to the left was created by Gomi Cake Arts. I will have her Twitter linked down in the description below. I will also have the link to her Twitter in the comment section down below, so go ahead and check her out. And all of her art is just high quality. It's amazing. I reference her art a lot when I'm drawing now. And yeah, I will talk to all of you another day. Bye.